Hey everybody, welcome back to Quali-Tea time. So, I have a bunch of news today. It's been a bit of a wild couple of days. So, first things first, it is a new month, and that means new patrons. So we have a couple of new patrons this month, which is glorious for me. And that means also that everybody's rewards refresh, so if you have a name that you haven't given me already for Yog Dwarves or for Eddington, shoot that onto the Patreon, and there will be a post for you to drop this onto. And if you've pledged at the $15 or more tier, then you will soon quickly be added to the Patreon server whitelist, provided I actually receive your username. And then there's things like what kind of strange thing you wish for me to say for an audio clip. I've been getting better at that, interesting enough, I don't know why. And all manner of other things. So just check on the Patreon, it will list all the stuff that you are eligible for, and then you can go and get it. But the bit of news that I'm sure you're all waiting to see is my footage from MCM. So, with that in mind, let's flash back to nearly a week ago. It is day rutabaga of MCM, and you will not be able to tell us. Because as I've established, the back screen turns off when the microphone is in. Yeah. So yes, day rutabaga, day 2, and we are quite tired. Yesterday was the recon day, and basically we are destroyed mildly. But we are en route once again, and this time around we have the yolk meat, so hooray for that. Hopefully my microphone is picking me up more than this train, but we'll find out when I check out the footage later. Catch you then. Phew. Right, well, it is day 3, which is the one right after rutabaga, and it's a bit of a misty morning today. Also, I have a very sleepy Nyan. And we are presently waiting for one of Sparks' friends who was here last year in a Halo armor, but I don't think that's happening this year around. And there's still like the odd cosplayer around, but by and large, things have kind of dropped down from yesterday, which stands to reason. And I'm going to be doing a lot of merch shopping, and hopefully I'll even see if I can get a few interviews with people, but we'll see. That in mind, I did check the actual volume of this audio last night, so I know you can hear me this time around, despite the fact that there's a train next to me. So, that in mind, tools. Phew. And then we all, piled on, well, Fuzz and I piled onto a train back home Sparks, of course, stayed there in London, and we were very tired, and I got back and I did a 5-hour Halloween stream with some lovely movies, some very wonderful movies. I had a lot of fun with that stream, and maybe that'll be a week. That may be an annual thing that I do now. I'm not 100% certain. We'll see next year. But I had a lot of fun. We watched The Final Girls, and then we watched Night of the Living Dead 1990, and then we finished off with Battle Royale in the original Japanese and everything. So that was beautiful. I had a lot of fun nerding out about that, as I am wont to do when it comes to horror films. But, right after I got back from MCM, I discovered our next bit of news, which is that, you might notice I'm occasionally looking over here, instead of over here, where I usually do. That's because the camera is on top of my second monitor, where I usually have my notes for doing this vlog. This monitor died, basically, as soon as I got back from the convention. So as a consequence, I'm currently on one monitor, which thankfully is at least 1080p, so I can fit most of the stuff I still need in it, but that's going to be a bit of a pain. Don't worry about it though, because it turns out I have a spare little bit of cash lying around that I can funnel very swiftly into getting a replacement monitor that will even be even better, so yay. But I got an interesting discovery to report today. So, earlier this afternoon, I received an email from Jake at CodeSync. CodeSync are a indie games development studio which is actually manned by a few of the alumni from my university, in fact my graduating class. They recently made a game called Shu, S-H-U. In fact, if you look through the MCM footage, you'll see I was actually at their stand for a little bit. Emailed me to say, hey, I got your email and sure, all this other stuff. And that's good, except that I didn't send an email. So I did some digging. And the email that got sent to him came from lyinginbedmon@email.com. Yeah, you can see this going south already. It had a smiley face in the header. It, began with salut and ended in cheers. And it quoted, not even exact figures, but approximate figures of my Twitch. And, evidently somebody tried to use my name and my business, as it were, to scrounge a few codes off of CodeSync. Well, the joke's on them because the email that got sent in response went to my actual accounts, so screw you, I guess. But nonetheless, that is remarkably the most altruistic email hacking I've ever seen, in that it's actually come out as a bonus for me, so meh. Screw you email hackers, but thanks. Anyways, that's my last bit of wild news for the day. So, here's the schedule. On Thursday night, Dark Souls reappears for another installment of Midnight Souls at 11 PM GMT. Clocks have gone back, as I discovered. On Friday, it's an episode of XCOM 2. On Saturday, we get into Mating Do, where we've got some interesting revelations to reveal, and we also have some Dungeons & Dragon Hat's Path of Steel at 9 PM GMT over at twitch.tv/thedragonhat. On Sunday, it's a bit more Edgington. On Tuesday, we have an episode of Yoke Dwarves Live number 63 at 9 PM GMT, in addition to an episode of Dungeon Maker. And lastly, on Wednesday, we have another episode of XCOM 2. Hoo-hoo. Now, this is normally the section where I would rattle off some questions and give you some answers, some of which would be joking and others sarcastic and others actually truthful and marital. But we actually didn't get all that many questions this past week, so if you happen to have any questions for me, drop them into the comments section below and we'll see what happens next week. Then mind, cheers, catch you next time.